From mistakes in minting to rare design changes, these pennies are worth far more than their face value. Stick around to discover which 1-cent coins could make you thousands. Welcome to the channel, where today we'll explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable pennies that could turn your loose change into a small fortune. You won't believe some of the prices these coins have fetched. Top 1. The year is 1992, a pivotal time in American history, marked by a wave of change, political shifts, and economic growth. But amidst all the chaos and excitement of the early 90s, a seemingly humble object would soon capture the attention of coin collectors and enthusiasts around the world: the 1992 USA 1-cent penny. Now, at first glance, it may seem like just another ordinary coin. After all, the penny has been a staple in American currency for over a century, with its familiar copper hue and iconic design featuring President Abraham Lincoln. But this particular penny, produced in 1992, holds a secret that would elude most of the general public for decades. It's a story that starts long before 1992, one that traces the penny's evolution in American society, its fascinating design choices, and how it became one of the most sought-after coins by collectors today. The penny, officially known as the 1-cent piece, has been part of American currency since 1793. Initially, it was a much larger coin, and over the years its size, shape, and materials evolved. But perhaps one of the most memorable moments in the penny's long history came in 1909, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln. The result was a redesign that brought us the Lincoln cent, a coin that, in one form or another, has remained a beloved symbol of American history for over a century. But as we turn our focus to the 1990s, something interesting begins to happen. The penny had remained relatively unchanged for decades. The classic design of Abraham Lincoln's bust, which had been in use for more than 80 years, was beginning to show its age. With the ever-changing landscape of American coinage, the question became, would the penny evolve, too? This question lingered in the minds of many as 1992 approached. 1992 was a year marked by a shift in American coinage, with the U.S. Mint preparing for a revaluation of designs. But amidst all this, a strange anomaly occurred during the minting process that would soon go unnoticed. A small but important detail that would forever alter the fate of this specific penny. Before we dive into this coin's incredible value, let's take a quick detour and examine the usual process behind minting the penny. Pennies, like all coins, are produced in massive quantities each year at the U.S. Mint's facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most pennies are struck in batches with high precision, ensuring that the design and features are identical. However, in 1992, something went wrong in the production process. A small batch of these pennies left the mint with a rare error that would turn them into a hidden treasure. So what exactly happened? The year 1992 was a transitional time for the U.S. Mint. In addition to minting the regular 1-cent coins with the familiar Lincoln design, they were also producing new coins for the upcoming 1993 release of the new Washington quarter design. The production process was slightly altered during this time, and in the confusion, a mistake occurred. The result was that a few 1992 pennies were minted with a slight, yet critical, flaw. You see, normally, the Lincoln cent bears a well-defined design of Abraham Lincoln's portrait facing right, with the words "In God We Trust" above his head and "Liberty" along the top edge of the coin. However, these error pennies, which were minted in 1992, had a slight difference in the design. It was an alteration in the positioning of the mint mark, which in some cases was either too high or too low compared to the standard placement. This tiny error would be the catalyst for the coin's later success on the collector's market. As these pennies began circulating, it took years before anyone noticed the flaw. For the general public, the 1992 penny was just another low-value coin used in everyday transactions. But to the discerning eye of a collector or numismatist, This error marked the beginning of a quest to find the elusive 1992 penny with the mint mark anomaly. Collectors began to hunt for this particular variation, realizing that it wasn't just a standard penny, it was a rare piece of history. What made it even more intriguing was that it wasn't clear how many of these coins had actually been produced, making them even more desirable. So why is this penny so special? It all boils down to scarcity and rarity. While most pennies from 1992 are quite common, the error coins with the misaligned mint mark are incredibly rare. This means that finding one of these coins in good condition is a major find for any coin enthusiast. The scarcity factor, combined with the fact that this penny represents a unique and historical moment in the U.S. mint's history, made it an object of great interest. But here's where things get even more exciting. You might be wondering, what's the value of this seemingly ordinary penny? Well, hold on to your seats, because we're about to reveal something incredible. The value of a regular 1992 penny, in circulated condition, is essentially the same as any other penny, just 1 cent. But when you factor in that rare error and the significant demand from collectors, this little penny's value skyrockets. In fact, some of these error pennies have sold at auction for as much as $57,000. Yes, you heard that right. A penny worth just 1 cent, originally minted in 1992, could fetch as much as $57,000 in today's market, depending on its condition and the rarity of the mint mark error. This astonishing value has made the 1992 penny with the error one of the most coveted coins among collectors. It's a reminder that sometimes, the smallest and most unassuming items hold incredible value, and a simple mistake can turn into something that's worth a fortune. So, what does this mean for you? If you happen to have a 1992 penny in your possession, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. It's worth checking your pocket change and digging through old coin jars to see if you have one of these rare coins hiding in plain sight. But remember, not every 1992 penny is worth thousands of dollars. The ones that hold significant value are those with the rare mint mark error, so it's important to be able to identify this flaw. The story of the 1992 penny serves as a fascinating example of how sometimes the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value. It's a story of how a simple mistake, combined with time, scarcity, and a bit of luck, can lead to a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual observer, this little penny proves that in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. In the end, the 1992 penny is more than just a piece of currency. It's a piece of history, a reminder that even in the most mundane objects, there's always the potential for something extraordinary. And who knows, perhaps the next time you sift through your spare change, you might just uncover a hidden treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. So keep your eyes peeled and your coin collection organized, because in the world of rare coins, even the smallest of mistakes can lead to big rewards. Top 2. There's a certain charm in the simplicity of a penny. It's often the coin that gets tossed aside, left forgotten in the corners of a drawer or the bottom of a pocket, rarely given a second thought. After all, it's just 1 cent, right? Hardly worth anything. But what if I told you that one of these pennies, minted in a year you might least expect, could actually be worth thousands of dollars? More than the price of an entire collection of pennies. Yes, it's true. Hidden among the sea of seemingly insignificant coins, there's a 1994 penny that holds a secret. A rare flaw that makes it far more valuable than its face value would suggest. To truly understand how this 1994 penny ended up with such a high value, we need to go back in time a little and look at the history of the penny itself. The story of the U.S. 1 cent coin dates back to 1793, when the very first penny was struck. Over the years, this small coin has gone through numerous transformations in size, design, and material. But one of the most iconic moments in its evolution came in 1909, when the U.S. Mint decided to honor President Abraham Lincoln with the new Lincoln cent, a design that would become iconic and remain largely unchanged for decades. The design of the Lincoln cent, featuring a bust of the 16th President of the United States on the obverse, has been a staple of American currency for more than a century. The reverse side of the coin also went through some modifications. It originally featured a design of two wheat stalks, symbolizing the country's agricultural roots, until 1959, when it was replaced with an image of the Lincoln Memorial to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This version of the penny, with its familiar memorial design, remained the standard for decades. By the time the 1990s arrived, however, the penny was beginning to feel a bit out of place in a rapidly changing world. In 1992, debates surrounding the future of the penny were heating up. The U.S. Mint was facing increasing production costs for the 1-cent coin, as the price of copper continued to rise, making it more expensive to produce pennies than they were worth. As a result, there were growing discussions about phasing out the penny altogether. But despite these concerns, the mint continued to strike millions of pennies each year, including in 1994. Little did they know that within that year's production of pennies, there would be a small but significant error, a flaw that would transform a humble coin into a prized collectible. Most of the 1994 pennies that were minted looked just like you would expect. They were the standard Lincoln Memorial design, copper in color, with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the front. These coins were produced in massive quantities, with millions of them circulating in the U.S. every year. However, within that vast sea of identical pennies, there was a small batch that would soon attract the attention of keen-eyed collectors. The error, it turned out, was due to a problem with the minting process. Normally, the U.S. Mint uses a pair of engraved dies to stamp designs onto metal discs, known as planchets. These dies are carefully aligned, ensuring that the design on the coin is perfectly centered. But during the production of some 1994 pennies, the dies became misaligned. This slight misalignment caused the mint mark, which indicates the facility where the coin was minted, to be placed incorrectly on the coin. For most of the 1994 pennies, the mint mark would appear near the bottom of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, as is customary. But for the error coins, the mint mark was either too high, too low, or in some cases completely absent. At first glance, the mistake might seem insignificant, especially to someone who isn't a collector. After all, it's just a small shift in the position of a letter, right? But in the world of numismatics, this kind of mistake is exactly what makes a coin so valuable. The error wasn't noticed right away. Most of the pennies were released into circulation, and people went about their daily lives, spending their pennies on everything from snacks to bus fares. It wasn't until years later that collectors began to notice something strange about a small number of 1994 pennies. Numismatists, those who study and collect coins, were the first to realize that a rare and valuable mistake had been made during the minting process. They found that the mint mark, a tiny detail on the coin, was misaligned in a way that was highly unusual. The error was subtle, but it was enough to set these particular pennies apart from the rest. Once collectors discovered the mistake, the hunt for these rare error pennies was on. Numismatists and coin collectors began scouring their collections, sorting through their spare change, and checking through boxes of pennies for the elusive 1994 error coins. As word spread, the demand for these rare pennies grew, and soon enough, people were paying top dollar to acquire them. But what made these error pennies so desirable? Why did a simple mistake during minting result in such a high price? In the world of coin collecting, rarity and demand are everything. A coin that is rare, especially one with an error or misprint, can be worth far more than its face value. It's all about the uniqueness of the coin. If a coin is one of only a few with a particular flaw, it becomes much more valuable to collectors. In the case of the 1994 penny, the misaligned mint mark made it a rare and highly sought-after find. But as is often the case with rare coins, the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that are in excellent, uncirculated condition are far more valuable than those that are worn and damaged by years of circulation. The value of the 1994 era penny continued to climb as collectors began bidding for them at auctions. Some era pennies, especially those in pristine condition, have sold for astronomical prices. While the typical 1994 penny is worth only 1 cent, a 1994 penny with the rare mint mark error can fetch up to $55,000, depending on its condition and the severity of the misalignment. Imagine that, a coin that you could easily find in your pocket or loose change, now worth tens of thousands of dollars. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest mistakes can lead to big rewards. For collectors, the hunt for these error coins is part of what makes the hobby so exciting. You never know when you might stumble upon a coin that's worth far more than its face value. If you're wondering whether you have one of these rare error pennies in your collection, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at any 1994 pennies you come across. While most of them won't be worth a fortune, a few lucky individuals may discover that they're holding a rare and valuable treasure. The next time you find a 1994 penny in your spare change, take a moment to inspect it carefully. It could be worth far more than you ever imagined. In the end, the story of the 1994 penny serves as a fascinating reminder of how a small error in the minting process can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into something extraordinary. It shows that even the most unassuming objects can hold great value. You just have to know what to look for. And for those lucky enough to find one of these rare error pennies, the reward is a coin that's not only a piece of American history, but also a reminder of how chance and rarity can turn a humble penny into a small fortune. Top 3. Imagine walking down the street, pockets jingling with coins, and you stop to pick up a penny. Most people would think nothing of it, toss it into a jar, and move on. After all, it's just a penny, right? But what if I told you that a single penny, minted in 2017, could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent? In fact, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Yes, that's right. A coin that most people wouldn't even glance at could fetch an astonishing amount of money. What makes this particular penny so valuable, you ask? Well, this story is all about rarity, collector interest, and a small error that turned an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Let's take a step back and examine how the 2017 penny became a sought-after gem. The 1 cent coin, often overlooked, has been a part of American currency since 1793. Over the years, it's gone through various design changes and material shifts, but one thing has remained constant. It's a symbol of small value. The penny has always been a humble coin, and yet, time and time again, rare versions have been discovered that are worth far more than their face value. For most of us, the penny conjures images of Abraham Lincoln's face, a figure that has graced the coin since 1909. For decades, the reverse side of the penny displayed wheat stalks, a symbol of America's agricultural roots. That design lasted until 1959, when it was replaced by an image of the Lincoln Memorial, an enduring tribute to the 16th president. This Lincoln Memorial design remained the standard until 2010, when the U.S. Mint introduced the shield reverse design. The shield, with its 13 vertical stripes representing the original 13 colonies, is what you'll find on the 2017 penny. The 2017 penny was minted at a time when the future of the 1 cent coin was being heavily debated. With rising production costs and an economy increasingly shifting away from small change transactions, the penny was often seen as outdated and unnecessary. Yet, despite these concerns, the mint continued to produce billions of pennies every year. Little did anyone know that among these millions of coins, a small but significant error would occur in the production of the 2017 penny. And it's that error that would eventually elevate the coin's value to surprising heights. In most years, the minting process for coins is fairly straightforward. The U.S. Mint uses dies to strike designs onto metal planchets, the blank discs that are the foundation of every coin. Normally, This process produces coins that are perfectly aligned and consistent in size and weight. But occasionally, due to slight imperfections or mishaps in the minting process, errors occur. These errors are often subtle, sometimes so minor that most people wouldn't even notice them. However, for those who are in tune with the world of coin collecting, even the tiniest of mistakes can be a goldmine. The specific error that made the 2017 penny so valuable wasn't a major flaw, but rather a subtle issue that only collectors with a sharp eye would spot. In the case of this particular penny, the mistake had to do with the planchet, the metal disc on which the coin is struck. Some of the 2017 pennies were produced with a slightly thinner than normal planchet. This made the coin smaller than its standard size, but not enough to be immediately noticeable to the average person. The difference was minimal, but for a numismatist, someone who studies and collects coins, this was a significant find. What makes this error so intriguing is how it's tied to the process of coin production. The U.S. Mint produces millions of pennies every year, and most of them are struck perfectly. But when a coin like this 2017 penny is produced with a slight flaw, it becomes one of a kind. In numismatics, coins with imperfections are highly sought after because of their rarity. And the 2017 penny, with its thin planchet error, is rare enough to be considered a valuable collector's item. So, what happens when a coin with such an error is discovered? For one, word spreads quickly in the coin collecting community. Collectors, who spend their time searching for rare and valuable coins, are always on the lookout for errors like this. Once they realized that there was a batch of 2017 pennies with this unique flaw, they began to actively seek them out. People started checking through their change, sorting through rolls of pennies, and inspecting every 2017 penny they could find. For many, this hunt became an obsession. What was once considered just a regular penny now became something far more intriguing. As the demand for these error pennies grew, so did their value. The 2017 penny, which would have otherwise been worth a mere 1 cent, now became a prized possession. The rarity of this mistake, coupled with the interest of collectors, led to a surge in the prices of these error coins. But how much are they really worth? Are they worth just a little more than face value, or can they fetch a hefty sum? It turns out that, depending on the coin's condition, the 2017 penny with the thin planchet error can be worth quite a bit more than just 1 cent. Some of the error pennies, especially those in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, have been known to sell for as much as $22,000. That's right. A penny that originally cost just 1 cent to produce has been sold for tens of thousands of dollars. It's a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even the smallest of mistakes can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinarily valuable. Of course, not every 2017 penny with the error is worth such a high amount. The value of any coin depends on a number of factors, including its condition, rarity, and demand. Coins that have been well preserved, with little wear or damage, are the most valuable. If you happen to find a 2017 penny with the error and it's in excellent condition, there's a chance you could sell it for a significant amount of money. However, if the penny has been heavily circulated, its value will be much lower. But even then, the fact that a simple penny could be worth thousands is something that excites collectors and coin enthusiasts around the world. So what does this mean for you, the average person? If you've got a jar full of loose change or a collection of pennies sitting around, it might be worth your time to sift through them. You could have one of these rare 2017 error pennies hidden among the rest, and if you're lucky, it could be worth thousands of dollars. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected things can hold the greatest value. The 2017 penny may seem like just another coin, but in the world of numismatics, it's a symbol of how even the smallest imperfection can create something extraordinary. Thanks to a slight error in its production, this penny has captured the attention of collectors, and its value continues to grow. And the next time you come across a 2017 penny, take a moment to examine it closely it might just be worth far more than you ever thought possible. And if you happen to have one of these rare error pennies, congratulations, you could be holding on to a coin worth $22,000. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable collectibles, and fascinating discoveries in the world of numismatics, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and leave a comment below. Let me know if you've ever found a rare coin or if you plan on checking your change more carefully from now on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.